Hello, I'm the Media Wiz, because one art form wasn't enough, and today we're going to be reviewing Superman 64. So, I thought about making this a crossover review, so that way I can make someone else suffer with me. And I know just the guy.
What do you want, man?
Swigga, what's up with you?
Well, as you know, yesterday I released my new album. And I thought I would celebrate a little bit with the party, you know.
Right.
Hookers, cocaine, Jack Daniels.
Yeah, sure.
Hey man, if you lived in the inner city, you would know what it's like, alright?
Anyway, I wanted to see if you wanted to do a game review with me.
Why?
Well, you have mentioned it before in your game reviews.
Got some good games on it. There's some shit as well, but I like N64. The game is functional, unlike other broken pieces of shit.
I thought if we reviewed it together, then that way you wouldn't have to suffer through it yourself.
Well, I think it really depends, man. What's the game?
Superman on Nintendo 64.
Alright, you know what? I do want to talk about that piece of shit. So I'm in.
Alright. Let's do this, y'all. Superman: The New Superman Adventures, nicknamed Superman 64 because of the N64's naming scheme, is yet another hailed as one of the worst video games ever made. Published by Titus, the same company that made that SNES Blues Brothers game, the game's production was incredibly hindered due to interference with DC and Warner Brothers, meaning that a lot of the game was never properly finished. But they put it out anyway. Because that has done so well before, right? Blue Sky was willing to redo the game for the PlayStation 1, but due to contracts and the sort, that version was never made. This game had some pretty high standards when it was first announced. I mean, Sonic 06 had the risk of alienating the Sonic fan base, and this game was based on an actually pretty good show, the Superman animated series from the 90s. So what could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
No, go home, Bubsy. Well, let's see how f***ing this game really is, y'all. This is Superman 64. It begins with Donald Trump. You mean Lex Luthor, right? Kidnapping a bunch of people. So naturally, it's up to Superman to save the day. And here we see a majority of what the game's gonna be. Superman flying through rings. Yes, really, this is a majority of the game. Flying through rings. It wouldn't be so bad if this was just the first level, but no. It's a majority of the game. A lot of what you do is just flying through rings in a lot of these levels. Scattered in between actually interesting things like breaking into Lex Luthor's lair and stuff, all brought to a halt to do this. This is a Superman game. This was the most interesting they could come up with? Flying through rings? Shouldn't you be, I don't know, doing something heroic like kicking some bad guy ass or something? If this was the first level, you know, as kind of a way to get used to flying controls, like a test level, that could be passable. A lot of flying-based games do that. But the messed up thing is, the cartridge of the game comes with a flying test mode that you can select before the main game, and it's basically the same thing minus the timer. Here's where the whole thing goes full-on ass dicks. The controls. Even for the N64, which people complain has a lot of really backwards controls, this is awful. The thing is, you have to fly through almost all these rings before the timer goes out. But the controls suck so hard, you'll miss a lot of these rings and often waste time trying to go back. And if you miss too many of these rings, you're gonna start your ass at the beginning of the level again. And much like Bubsy 3D, the graphics are so ugly it makes it hard to look at while playing. Not only are the character models and items incredibly stiff looking and make Minecraft look three-dimensional, the city of Metropolis looks so empty, vacant, and boring. Where are all the people? And why are the buildings just a bunch of gray boxes? Is this Metropolis or Silent Hill? What's with all the fog and the eerie green skies? And why does it pull a Bubsy 3D where the more you walk throughout the level, the more the locations appear? I complained about the same thing for South Park on Nintendo 64, but it's much worse here. There's more to do in this game than just fly through rings. Barely. Other things that you have to do in the game include throw cars with bombs in them. Thank God there's no people in the streets when you do that, because this seriously could have given Man of Steel a run for its money. Carry a police car to a goal point. Beating up bad guys and henchmen. Hey look, Swigga, you finally got what you wanted. Although, it's like every other level. And all throughout the game, Superman is saving the kidnapped people from the bad guy's base. You know, if the whole game was like this, like a Metal Gear style stealth game, then we might have had something. But no, flying through rings was more Superman-like to them. And since the game was unfinished, there's a lot of glitches all throughout the game. Ones that are even more embarrassing than Sonic 06. Anyway, y'all want to see how this piece of shit ends? Well...
Irony!
This fucking game! The game is unfinished, the graphics look like crap, the gameplay is stupid, the controls are beyond and any kind of interesting is pushed to the wayside to fly through motherfucking rings! This game! MC Swigga out, y'all. I gotta go puke. What, to puke from how bad the game is? No, from all the booze and all the fast food we had last night. Huh. Right. Well, I'm the media whiz, because one art form wasn't enough.